Today we're talking about 3 great prime lenses that we can use with the G85 or with any other micro four thirds camera for that fact. These lenses are the Laowa 7.5mm f2 Dreamer, the Sigma 16mm f1.4 Contemporary, and the Sigma 30mm f1.4 Contemporary. If you're new to the channel, my name is Mike Mandigo, and this is Passion Video. Thanks for stopping by. Right now, I currently own 4 lenses that are native to the Micro Four Thirds camera system. I have the Panasonic Leica 12-60 variable aperture zoom lens, and then I have the 3 prime lenses that we're going to be talking about in this video here. I used to own the Lumix 12-60 variable aperture zoom lens as well, but I was doing something a while back and the lens ended up falling on the floor and breaking and then getting put out of commission. But I will be referencing that lens in this video, as I know that a lot of G85 users are getting that lens as a kit lens when they purchase their camera. I decided to make this video today to share the decision on why I sometimes like to choose these prime lenses over using the variable aperture zoom lens that I own. With the 2x crop factor that we're getting with the Micro Four Thirds camera system, the full frame equivalent that we'll be getting with these lenses is a 15mm, a 32mm, and a 60mm. So with the combination of all 3 of these lenses, we'll be getting a nice wide, medium, and tight shot. Let me know in the comments if you've had a chance to try out any of these lenses for yourself. Let us know in the comments what your experience has been like down below. Now, technically, if you did own one of the Lumix or the Leica 12-60 variable aperture zoom lenses, you could potentially get similar focal lengths using one of these lenses alone. But there are some benefits to using these primes over the zoom lenses, and we're going to cover those now. There's also some downsides as well, but we'll talk about those in a bit. The overall advantage for using these 3 prime lenses over using the variable zoom lens is that all 3 of these lenses have faster apertures, meaning that we can get down to a really low f-stop like f1.4 with the Sigma lenses and f2 with the Laowa lens. Because of the smaller sensor size with the Micro Four Thirds camera system, it's going to be more beneficial for us if we use faster lenses like these primes that are going to allow in more light. Also, with using these primes, they're said to be a little bit more sharper than what you would get if you were using a zoom lens. Now, the benefits to using the zoom lens would be that you're able to switch your focal lengths really quickly on the fly, and also that you don't have to worry about swapping out lenses or carrying a number of lenses with you. The biggest problem that I've found using either the Lumix or the Leica 12-60 zoom lens is that they both have variable apertures that increase as we zoom in, meaning that the image is going to get darker as we zoom in. Now, there is a workaround that we can do by setting our aperture to the highest variable with the zoom lens. That way, when we're zooming in and out, our aperture will remain constant. But like I mentioned a bit earlier, with the smaller sensor size of the Micro Four Thirds camera system, having a higher aperture is going to prevent us from allowing in enough natural light on our sensor, and then it's going to cause us to have to bump up our ISO or add in additional lighting, which might not be available. Now, this might not be a problem if you're working outdoors where there's lots of available lighting, but if you're working inside with minimal lighting, this is where these prime lenses are really going to come in clutch. Both of the Sigma lenses can go down to an f1.4, and the Laowa lens can go down to an f2. This is a lot more light that will be hitting the sensor as compared to the variable aperture zoom lens. The downsides to using these prime lenses would be having to swap them out when you want to change focal lengths. But if you plan out in ahead, you can get a number of shots using the one focal length before you have to switch to the other focal lengths. This is going to help you to alleviate a little bit of time that could be wasted. The other downside to using these prime lenses is that all 3 of them have different size filter threading. But using a larger ND filter or a larger filter with step-down rings can help to solve this problem. Now that you know what the differences are and the results that you could achieve using these 2 types of different lenses with your G85, what choice are you going to be making in the future? Now, don't feel like you have to go out and purchase these lenses based on this video here, unless you feel like the benefits from these prime lenses could really help you improve your videos. Like I've heard it said before, and I'm sure you've heard it said yourself, to work with what you have and also to be grateful for what it is that you have. As I mentioned in the beginning, I wanted to make this video here to help explain the differences on why I like to choose these prime lenses over using my variable aperture zoom lens at times. And also to help out the new users of the G85 that might not know the differences between using these two types of lenses yet. Well, that's going to wrap up this video here on the 3 great primes that I like to use with my G85 and with my other Micro Four Thirds cameras. Thanks for stopping by, and don't forget to slap the like button on the way out. All right.